Kids are in bed.
Good, because it's Women in Comics Wednesday.
Yeah. It's Wednesday, and here on Two Nerds on a Wire, we are starting a brand new segment called Women in Comics Wednesdays.
Hashtag WCW.
And this week, we wanted to start off by talking about something that we feel is doing a really good job of representing women in comics. There's plenty of examples of those who are doing it really, really poorly and need a kick in the pants. But we wanted to start off on a positive note, so we're going to start with Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
So, in our house, in our family, I live with 5 women and there's 1 husband. So
let clarify, just because we live in Utah and might need to make this distinction, there's 1 wife. Yeah. And we have 4 daughters, hence the 5 women. There's no
sister wives things going on here.
None of that.
No big love. But there's a lot of love, but like none of that stuff. So in our family with 5 women, we do have a lot of estrogen, a lot of emotions. And a lot of
and just have a lot of feelings, okay?
And everyone else does, so they attract bears. So, as a father of 4 daughters, I become really aware of the way that women are kind of portrayed in different medias, because I want to see in my characters and my female characters. I'm not a female, so I can't speak to that, but I can speak to what I'd like to see my daughters grow up and what kind of role models they want to have. And looking at them, I want to have women that are represented as smart, intelligent, and not arm candy or trophies, not the hero's journey typical attractor that Joseph Campbell spoke about, where it's the knight in shining armor saving the damsel in distress. Those type of things that are old and antiquated. I don't want to see my daughters expecting to be saved by a man, but at the same time, I don't want them to be shown as I guess masculine females. I wanted them to be seen as the way women normally are, and so for me as a father, I really, really kind of look for those type of characters that are the type of women that I want my daughters to grow up and be like.
Right, and then from my perspective, I mean, obviously the weak arm candy simpering waifs is bad, but in my opinion, just as harmful are the ones that go too extreme to the other side. I think that there's a lot to be said about a strong female character, and I love strong female characters, but I don't see a woman that just because she can do push-ups and punch a guy and act like she's better than all the dudes, that doesn't necessarily make her a strong female character. There are many different types of strength, and I want my female characters to be as 3-dimensional as their male counterparts in a given setting. Now, on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for me, this is a good representation of the way that it's doing it well, and a lot of things that I really am looking for in female characters. So you see strong female characters, but it's more than just physical strength. You have Agent May, who, yes, she's very physically strong. She's capable. She's calm. She is handling things amazingly. She's pretty kick butt.
Yeah.
I really like Agent May. But then on the other side you have Daisy, also known as Skye, who I feel has really become the main character of the show, even more so than Agent Coulson.
Yeah, definitely, and that kind of came about around about the first or second season.
Mm-hmm.
In the first season, it was a lot about the gathering of all the different superheroes.
And Tahiti.
Yeah.
It's a magical place.
Daisy's become kind of the hero or heroine of the story, and it's becoming about her development, her discovery of who she is, her background, her fights with and struggles with her history with her mother, and not knowing a ton about her mom, not knowing much about her father being gone. And
then add on top of all of that, going through the Terrigen Mist and becoming an Inhuman.
Right. And she becomes such a central piece, and Coulson has almost taken a step to the side and become more of a mentor type character.
Right.
If you're looking at Heroes Journey stuff, which is really kind of cool because, which is kind of part to our next book. But I'll talk about it in a second. But Bobby also is a very
Bobby Morse, also known as Mockingbird. She again embodies the strong female character, but in a completely different way. I mean, she even recently in the season finale of season 2 ends up taking a bullet for her estranged husband, and their relationship I think is really interesting. She's a very developed, well-rounded character. You also have Agent Simmons, who you look at her and you don't think, oh, strong female character, but she is brilliant and she is strong, but maybe just not so much in the physical sense. She is absolutely brilliant.
Well, but
scientific.
She infiltrated.
She
Hydra.
infiltrated Hydra.
I mean, that's strong. I mean, there's, and I think the really cool thing about that kind of goes along with those female characters is that they have a male counterpoint that they seem to work really, really well together with each of them.
Right.
Does.
The thing with Fitz and Simmons is you wouldn't necessarily say, well, this one is better, this one is in charge. It's not like that at all. They work together. And when we talk about how we want to see women portrayed in media, it's equality. Mm-hmm. And I think in a lot of things it's equality. It's not women need to be so much better and so much above. It's the whole point of women and men working together for a common goal. And I think this is something that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has in spades.
Yeah, and it didn't start off that way, but just in the last season and a half, it's really done some great stuff with it. I think Bobby and her estranged husband stuff and the way they've worked together and played off each other and their relationship together is really, it reminds me of a typical marriage type relationship. Like, they really work well together, and then you have
despite
Coulson.
all their problems and differences and things.
Yeah, and you have Coulson. You have
Coulson and Agent May,
and Agent May too. That they both mutually respect each other for the way that they are, and I think they really work well together. And Sky or Daisy.
Well, she's been working a lot with Mac recently, and I think that that's a really interesting pairing too because in the show, I've noticed he kind of defers to her on things that are her strength.
Right.
He's not trying to, well, I know better than you, blah, blah, blah. But on topics where she is more versed on things that she knows about, he's like, well, how do you think we should handle this? Mm-hmm. And I think that's really, and I think Mac is a great character as well. They
all just seem to be like not one better than the other, and sometimes deferring to each other. It's a great example.
It's great working relationships. And when we say relationships, it doesn't even have to mean romantic, because if you think of with Daisy or Sky at the time and Grant Ward in the first and second season, there was kind of a little bit of the tension going on and her being an attractor for him and all of those things. But when it came down to it and she knew who he was, she wasn't going to be like, oh, well, it's okay. Maybe I can change him. Thank you, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for not doing that and for giving her the opportunity to be strong and to say, nope, you're a crazy psychopath. I'm going to hang out with the S.H.I.E.L.D. guys over here.
Yeah, that's a really huge thing for me as a parent, as a father, is I want to see examples of women that when they found bad relationships, that they figure out a way to get out of those relationships.
Exactly.
And many people that know me know some history with that and know why that's important, but I think it's an important thing for my children to see examples of that, and there aren't enough of those. There aren't enough of those in stories of women that when that just see that there's red flags in their relationship and get out and find someone else. So
yeah. So, like we said, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is our Women Crush Wednesday as well as our Women in Comic Wednesday. It's got our stamp of approval. And to finish things out, we wanted to try something different with our Hold the Bacon today. We are going to do Ming-Na Wen, who plays Agent May on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Haley Atwell, who plays Agent Carter. But instead of Hold the Bacon, we're doing Hold the Marvel. So we have to do those characters to each other without using the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Now, really fast before we do that, I know I don't want to ramble or get off on anything, but if you aren't paying attention to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. versus Agent Carter DubSmash war,
it's so adorable.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
so I'll put a link into some of the here, but
doobly-doo,
to check those out. But they're really, really fun. And again, same thing. Like if we're talking about groups working together, not just on the show, but their personalities and their little wars against each other. I mean, they do some really fun things as a ensemble acting group that they work all together as a group to do some fun, and it is becoming some great stuff for fundraising for cancer research and stuff too. So really, really cool.
All right, so on to our Hold the Marvel for the day. Okay, so we're gonna set our timer right here.
Yeah.
Bing.
And go.
Okay. All right, things that they've been in. Ming Na Wen, she's in.
I don't know.
She's the voice of Mulan.
Okay, so
with
we can
Eddie
link
Murphy.
her to. Oh, that's right. I was going to say like Donny Osmond.
Donny Osmond. Eddie Murphy. She's also in. What else is Ming Na Wen?
I can do it. I can do it. It's a long way, but I can do it. You ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a long one, like super long, because this is what it has to be. But Ming Na Wen is in Mulan with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is in Shrek with. Where was I going with this? He's in Shrek with Cameron Diaz. And Cameron Diaz is in Something About Mary with Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller is in Anchorman or whatever movie
with Will Ferrell, who's in Megamind with Brad Pitt, who is in
Benjamin Button with Kate
Blanchett, who's in Cinderella with Haley Atwell. That is really long. How many steps is that?
I told you it was long. That was the best.
There's got to be a faster way to do that.
That was the best.
So you find a faster way to do that, and then put it in the comments, please.
Mm.
And then we will see you we'll do another episode coming up.
It is our anniversary.
Oh yeah, we have our anniversary
on Thursday, so.
And we don't have to put the kids to bed, so we might even do another episode while we'll see.
We'll do an episode in Vegas. Two Nerds and a Wire in Vegas.
Live from Vegas.
If we'll go live.
Also, please like this video because it makes us feel so good inside. And also, it would be very lovely if you would subscribe so that you can get more Women in Comic Wednesdays and more of our other fun Two Nerds on a Wire goodness. And we will see you next time.